What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today is that vlog day once again. I know I'm sorry I'm late on this one, but I had to get all my ducks in a row when it came to the Coil review that we'll be going over later in this episode here. Anyways, guys, sit back, relax, grab your favorite vape, grab a comfortable chair, and let's vape. Alright guys, so first up on the topics list today is what I've been vaping on. I know it's been quite a while since I've done a proper vlog. I've been doing travel vlogs for the past couple of weeks just to play catch up on all my recent trips and everything, but this week we're finally going to be doing what I've been vaping on, and it's the same old Rig Pig with the Roughneck V2. However, I am vaping on some really good juice right now, which is the Naked Lines Hawaiian Pog flavor. That stuff is amazing. I was really shocked to discover that it's not a coil destroyer. I figure that it's so sweet, it's got to be, you know, hell on coils, but really it's not. I've been rocking this stuff for about 5 days now, and my cotton is still really nice and clean. The flavor itself, very clean. It's a pomegranate orange guava flavor, so it's a nice tropical fruit mix, which is right up my alley. And yeah, it's really good juice. I really encourage everyone to go out there and try this stuff. This is not a formal juice review whatsoever, but it is really good stuff, and I want you guys to try it if you like the fruity vapes, that is. Personally, I absolutely love this stuff. I've got it on here with a 0.35 ohm dual fuse Clapton coil, which is what I built a few weeks ago in Fresh Build Fridays. Still rocking those same exact coils. I gotta love these fuse Claptons on here. They hit super hard, and the flavor is just top notch. And I was really looking forward to trying out a series build with fuse Clapton coils because they are my favorite coils out there to date. I haven't tried anything that just tastes as clean as fuse Clapton coils, and these just do the trick for me, especially on a series box, putting out all that voltage. Really is just a sight to be seen. So let's go ahead and have a quick vape on this one. I mean, you're talking cloud production for days, but also the flavor is 100% there. Super clean, super tasty, it's just like such a good vape. And this is actually one of the first liquids that I've tried on the Rig Pig that isn't Blaz, and it's a refreshing change, so to speak, but I do look forward to getting some Blaz on there in the near future. My next setup that I'm going to be talking about today is something brand new to me. I just built this thing today, actually, but it is the Azeroth tank by Coil Art. I've got it on the Tempest 200 watt by Council of Vapor. My batteries are slightly dead on this one, but I still should be able to get a decent hit out of it. Inside the tank, I've got some strawberry milk by Ends Game. This was sent to me by Vapor Stockroom, so thanks Kevin and Ashley, really appreciate it. They're doing some awesome stuff, and this is a top-notch flavor as well. I love strawberry milk. I haven't had it in quite some time, so it's a nice refreshing change here. This is an RDTA style tank, so it's very similar to the iJoy Limitless tank that everybody's raving about. It's got a nice wide bore chuff style tip to it. It's got an angled airflow. We'll be going over all this stuff in the full review of this device, but it's a really interesting little thing. It has like nice little gold accents on it, and under the hood here, it's got the Goon style deck, which is pretty cool. I really like to see some more clamp devices similar to the Goon. This is done in a very similar form factor. It's got two sets of screws on the posts, and you just kind of wiggle them down ever so slightly until it makes a nice secure connection on there. I really like that sort of system. It works for me. It makes you be like, it gives you the ability to build all these different fancy coils on there. And the wicking on it, not too hard, I think. You just kind of leave your legs, your cotton tails a little bit long, and you just kind of stick them down in there. This thing actually wicks pretty darn good for ohming out to about 0.22. Vaping it at 100 watts, I'm averaging about 4.7 volts, which is a little bit high, actually. It's a very powerful little thing. They actually gave me some coils to go along with it. We've got Juggernauts in there right now. These are 0.45 ohms per coil. They give you all the specs. We'll, again, be going over that in the full review of this device. But yeah, they give you the full specs list, and they give you 10 coils per package, which is a nice change of pace. This is something that China has finally caught up to. I've been complaining about, you know, the pre-built coil thing for a while, since they give you 3 coils or 5 coils, things like that, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. So thank God they gave us 10 coils, which means 5 sets if you're running dual coils. But yeah, definitely good value for your money here. They also gave me some tobecco-mini-super-sub-ohm-tank, which are metering out at 0.25 per coil, which is really damn low. This just looks like a whole mess of twisted wire. I really can't make too much sense of it, but it's like twisted Claptons with some 22 gauge thrown in there for good measure, I guess. But that's something different. I'll probably end up putting those on a mech or something like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a rip off of this one. And you probably heard it in there. It's a little bit crackly for my liking with the Juggernaut coils, and that was definitely true when I built the Juggernaut coils a few weeks back in Fresh Build Fridays. They definitely pop and spit and all that stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of, but the vape they give off is just great. They have excellent flavor, good vapor production. They're relatively low resistance, so actually I did want to mention the fact that since they're listed as 0.45 ohms, I'm assuming that's per coil, I'm running them in a dual coil, and it's coming in at 0.22 ohms, which is actually right on the money. So they got it right, which I'm really glad they did that as well. So very good job, Coil Art. I'm really liking this thing so far. Looking forward to, you know, testing it, pushing it to its limits here, and we'll go over everything, like I said, in the full review, which will be coming out soon, probably next week or something like that. Next up, we have the RX200 with a Super Tank Mini on top. This thing, made by Tobeco, great little tank. Gotta say, they really hit the nail right on the head when they made the Super Tank Mini. I absolutely love it. It's just a nice alternative for your Atlantis or something like that. If you have a bunch of Atlantis coils laying around, or if your tank broke or something like that, you don't want to spend the money, you know, getting it up to snuff, well, there you go. Super Tank Mini, they're really cheap, and they're really good as well. I mean, there are a few qualms with them. If you guys want me to do a full review on this device, make sure you drop a comment in the box below. I'll be sure to do that for you if there's enough interest in that sort of thing. I just picked this up actually to do the Coil Art coil reviews, which we'll be getting into in the next segment. But vaping a notch coil in here. It's metering in at 0.22. And I'm vaping it at 68 watts on average here, 3.87 volts, which is kind of mellow, but you know what? I really get excellent flavor out of this one. I like the fact that it has a built-in Delrin drip tip. That's really nice for people like me that don't like metal. However, I like to be able to use my own tips in it, and there's no way you can get that out of there or anything like that. You have to actually use the stock drip tip with it. So it's kind of a pro and a con in the same sense of the word, but you know what? I don't mind it, so to speak, because it's Delrin, it's comfortable, everything is good, hunky-dory for me. The other thing that's excellent about this tank is the airflow. I absolutely love the airflow on this tank. You get a massive amount of airflow, pretty much the most I can ever imagine for something like the Atlantis coil to be able to handle there, but you get plenty of airflow, no complaints in that department. It's not overly loud, it's a little bit louder. Has a little bit of that kind of, you know, odd restriction to it. But other than that, you get really great flavor off of this one, which, again, we'll go over in the next section as far as the Coil Art coils are concerned. But yeah, let's just go ahead and take a rip off of this one. So excellent vapor production, excellent airflow, just everything is just like great. I love it. You know, not much more to say about that. In the tank, I've got some Scruples by Barn Brew. They've given me like 240 mils of this juice. I absolutely love it. It's a yellow peach, lychee, and hibiscus flavor. Yes, that odd little kind of floral note at the end is just kind of nice, and it's just different. You know, you don't see that every single day. So that's really cool. Been vaping on that for a while now. Absolutely loving it. And my next setup is the Wraith, Council Vapor Wraith with a 25mm Kennedy squonker on top. Yes, this is actually a squonker. Steve Kennedy sent me this, and a 24mm as well with a replacement squonk pin for that. So thank you, Steve. I really do appreciate that, man. This thing is great. I absolutely love it. The topper to it is awesome. The Council of Vapor Wraith, however, I still have my, sort of qualms with. It has that single battery kind of sag issue, and the batteries are only good up to about 50%. So I just put a fresh battery in there, so we should be able to get a decent rip out of it. I've got a pair of fuse Claptons in here, metering in at 0.25 on the money. The voltage that I'm getting is about 3.3-ish with the battery sag and everything like that. Honestly, not too happy with the sag on this one. Just doesn't do it for me. The ramp up is forever, and these coils are top notch. I just really wish I had a box that could support 25mm coils and squonking. If anyone out there has some suggestions, I would appreciate it. Just drop it in the comments or send me an email, dailyvapetv@gmail.com. I'd love to hear them for you. I might have to, go full custom with this one because I absolutely love the Kennedy 25 on here. It's just a nice big old dripper. You can fit big coils in here, and it is a 2-post, so you can fit 2 massive coils spanning all the way across there if you wanted to. So I guess I'm kind of looking for something that's almost unreasonable in a certain senses, I guess, because I want it all. I want it all in one box, in one package, and I just don't think there's anything out there that really suits my needs. But hopefully, someone will create something, or there's already a product on the market that I can just pick up, because I love the Kennedy 25, and I really wanted to give it some justice by putting it on a proper squonk box. And this thing just ain't cutting it for me personally. With that being said, I've got Blaz in there right now, Blaz Melon. Really just kind of fiended for this stuff for the longest time because I went without it for a couple of weeks, and now I just want it so bad. So I've got it back in here. It's good and squonked. You just squeeze that little bottle at the bottom, and it's good to go. I love the 12 mil juice capacity. That is a pro. You've probably watched my Wraith review, but the 12 mil juice capacity is great. I can drip on this thing pretty much all day and only have to fill it maybe once. But yeah, this stuff is so good. Let's go ahead and have a rip. Flavor-wise, I am getting a ton of flavor out of it. However, it's definitely lacking on the vapor department, and I can attribute that to the weakness of the battery. Even if I feel like even if it was a 26650, it might be a little bit better. However, only marginally. It definitely has that single battery issue. Council of Vapor, either make it dual battery or do something, because you're killing me with this one here. I don't know if I have to build a 1 ohm coil on this thing or what, but just, I don't know. I'll take any suggestions. So anyways, we'll just leave it at that. Otherwise, I absolutely love the Kennedy so far. So thanks, Steve, once again. And last but not least, I did want to talk about this little guy, the AIO. This is my, cleanup hitter. This is my relief. This is my little break. It's great with coffee. Actually, I've got my coffee right here. This is Mary Mac by Rope Cut, and I have to say it like that because that's how Pamela from Rope Cut says it. It's Mary Mac, and I just love the way she says that. It's just so cute. But that's a mint tobacco flavor. It's kind of heavy on the tobacco and light on the mint. It's just a nice little spearmint right in the background, but it just refreshes your whole palate. It just really brings you back to square one. I vape a lot of fruity flavors, as you've seen, and this just kind of grounds me. It levels me out. It just kind of brings me back to my roots and the beginnings of where I started vaping, and reminds me of, the times I would smoke, basically. And this is kind of like my setup where this is my coffee and a cigarette kind of setup. But obviously, I've replaced a cigarette with a vape. So that's a really good thing. I still like that morning kind of easy, mellow vape, just when you first get up in the morning, you make yourself your first cup of coffee, and you just sip on that and just vape, and watch the news or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do right now. We got coffee right here. And have a vape. And when I'm doing that in the morning, I really just, can't be bothered with clouds or anything like that, or, huge chucking devices. I just want to wake up and have a good morning, and this is definitely the way to do it. A nice tobacco just brings you right down and just calms you down. I'm still one that enjoys a good tobacco from time to time. I'm not saying that it's my favorite vape in the universe, but when I first get up, I'm really not looking for those sweet, ultra like sugary juices or anything like that. I want something that's just a good morning vape, and this definitely does it for me. I went through a couple tanks of their other flavors. I went through Santo Domingo, I went through Skipper, I went through Dark 30, now I'm on to Merrimack, and honestly, I really don't want to, ditch this one because I absolutely love the mint in this. I really love a good mint. I know there's fans out there that love mint as well. If you do, make sure you let your voices be heard. If you love mint, just drop a comment down there. Anyways, that about does it for what setups I'm rocking. Really, the only other one I wanted to talk about was this guy right here. This is the Crown 2 on the Stout. I've been vaping on this one over the course of the past like 2-3 weeks. UL sent me a bunch of coils. They changed their coils up a little bit. So I've been using them, and I wanted to test them out for you guys because I know a lot of you out there probably bought the Crown 2 and weren't very happy with the coils. So we've got these new coils here. How you can differentiate them from the older coils. The older coils are kind of a matte finish. The newer ones are more of a shiny polished finish. That's one big difference. I mean, not big difference, but it's one difference that I've noticed. The wicking holes, I had originally thought they were bigger, but it doesn't seem like they're very much bigger at all, if any, if at all. But they probably changed a few minor things about them. I'm not exactly sure. It didn't come with any paperwork or anything. Literally, a package came in, said from Shenzhen, China, UL, and boom, that was it. Just coils, and that was it. No paperwork, no nothing. So, yeah, just wanted to, tell you guys a little bit about these coils, explain, my experience with them. So far, so good. Honestly, I really didn't have any problems with the older coils. I didn't rip them all day, every day, like a lot of you out there do. However, I did see a few of my customers come into my shop that had complaints about them. Honestly, if I can't replicate the problem myself, I can't really, fix the problem. So, unfortunately, I was kind of stumped at the reason why these coils are burning out so fast. People were saying they're getting a day out of them, sometimes even less, so I don't know why. Personally, I've had the best of luck with these coils. I'm using a 0.8 ohm coil on there right now. It's metering out right there. It's 0.9 it meters out to, so a little bit off on that, I would say. But vaping it at 55 watts at 7 volts, which is pretty extreme. And I've had no, bad taste or anything like that. This coil's been in there for a little bit now, probably about 2 weeks or so. And it's going strong. I've got this Mad Rabbit juice in there right now. This is a blue raspberry flavor. It's on the sweeter side, and it does tend to, darken up my coils a little bit here and there. But overall, the flavor hasn't changed whatsoever on this. Let's go ahead and just have a rip real quick. Yeah, so I'm getting top-notch flavor, really no complaints in the flavor department. As far as the longevity, like I said, I'm not ripping this all day, every day, but it's kind of my experimental mod of choice for these coils here. I've gone through a couple of the 0.5s and a couple of the 0.8s. I have yet to try the new 0.25s, but I did give a couple away to some of my friends and asked them to give me some of their feedback. So far, they've had no complaints about them. They're averaging about, 5 to 7 days on a coil, just using them exclusively, which is kind of average nowadays. I hate to say it. I mean, I used to get about 2 to 3 weeks out of a coil back in the day, and nowadays it seems like these things were designed to die in about a week or a week and a half. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just a flaw in the design. I'm really not sure. I gave my personal feedback to the people over at UL, and I guess they're going to take that into account as they come out with new products. So maybe we'll see something really great with the next version, but really can't give you too much input as of right now as of the difference of these coils. So I don't know. I will continue to test them out for a future vlog. Maybe by next week I can give you a little bit more detailed feedback. I'll probably end up ripping one of these things apart just to check out what the guts look like, and maybe we'll do a little special segment or something like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment. All right, guys, the day is finally here where I can kick off the coil art segment of these vlogs. I have all the tanks that I need for these coils, and I'm finally going to be able to just show you guys what I've been vaping on as far as the coil art coils goes. I have a detailed review of every single one of them. Every single tank that I tried is using the same e-liquid, which this week it is the Scruples by Barn Brew e-liquid. Of course, links in the description and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and kick this baby off. And I started off with the notch coils. I have a full database that I'm going to be putting in the description of this video where you can check it out, the stats for yourself. I've given every single one of these a 1 out of 10 rating for flavor, vapor, and overall. And I have little notes for every single one that I'm going to be going over with you guys. I got my vlog notes right here. So let's start it off. First up, we have the TFV4 by Smoke. The resistance on this coil came out to 0.24 ohms, and to the best of my understanding, these notch coils are supposed to be about 0.25 ohms. Now, I'm not sure if it's lead spacing or anything like that that's making up the difference for these coils here, but these all came in a little bit different. Really, only one of them actually came in right at 0.25 ohms, and that's the Crown tank. But it doesn't really matter because I just set the wattage accordingly. No, I did not use the same wattage across the board because I was getting some dry taste to a few of these coils, so I just wanted to kind of test the limits to these coils, and that's what I did. So I'm vaping this one right now at 75 watts. The notes that I had written down for this coil in particular for the TFV4 is it has the best overall wicking. Now, I did not fear the dry hit one bit with this tank here. It always felt like it was wicking really well. I used a very high wattage and still no fear of the dry hit whatsoever. This is the highest wattage I used for any of these coils, which is 75 watts. The flavor is good, but it has a little bit of hollowness to it. It's just kind of, it's missing one of those flavors. It has like the inhale and the exhale, but you know, when it's like in your lungs, it just doesn't feel like it's tasting like anything. I'm not sure if I can explain that any better, but you know what I mean? It just has that front end and that back end, but it's just missing the middle altogether. So overall, I rated this one 7 out of 10 for flavor, for vapor, 9 out of 10, and overall 8 out of 10. So not a bad coil whatsoever. Let's just go ahead and show you guys some vapor production. So there you can see it plain as day, really good vapor production with this one. Honestly, I really like this coil in this tank. I haven't really used the TFV4 too much, and I would like to also give a huge shout out to Paul Sullivan. He was the one that sold me this tank for the purpose of doing these videos, so thanks, Paul. I really appreciate it. But yeah, he sold me this one and the next one we have here. But yeah, let's go ahead and just move on to the next one. Overall, that was probably one of my top 2, I would say, out of the 5 tanks that I reviewed. Next up, we have the Kanger Sub-Tank Mini. Now, yeah, Kanger Sub-Tank Mini. I know it's a little bit outdated, but I had these coils, so I had to try them out. This one came in at 0.28 ohms, which is a little bit higher than I would have liked to have seen for this one. I'm vaping it at 48 watts, and that was pretty much the max for this device here. Just couldn't get any more out of it. I tried it at 55 and got a vicious dry hit. So really, this is probably the lowest wattage. Yeah, this is the lowest wattage I was vaping any of these coils at. So not too happy about that fact. My notes on this one, only tank to dry hit. Yes, this was the only one I had give me a serious dry hit. Lowest wattage used. The flavor is hollow and weak, and just I'm not very happy with this coil. Not sure why exactly. You would think with the same e-liquid and the same overall like devices being used and everything like that, that you would get a consistency here, but honestly, there's a big difference between all these coils, and I'm not exactly sure why, because I don't know, maybe it's the wicking or something like that. Maybe it's just kind of cooking the juice wrong or something, or the size. I'm just not really sure. But honestly, gotta say, wasn't too happy with this one. For the flavor, I gave it a 2 out of 10. For the vapor production, a 3 out of 10. And overall, a 2 out of 10. That's pretty miserable, if you ask me. I would like to see, I'd like to try this out in a different kind of setup, in a different, configuration, because I want to like these coils. But as of right now, just not too happy about them. Let's go ahead and have a vape. For the first like 0.5 seconds that I'm drawing on this thing, it's a decent flavor, but I just can't get over the fact that it just kind of tastes half dry no matter what. I've tried covering the air holes and taking a few pulls on it just to get the juice flowing. I've tried over priming it and to the point when the juice was flowing out the bottom. Just nothing seemed to work for me on this one. I don't know, maybe I'm having a bad coil day or something like that. But just gotta kind of review what you get. So there you go. My next tank is going to be the Super Tank Mini by Tobeco. I chose this tank specifically because I've never been a huge fan of the Atlantis V2, which was the other option that I had on the table. Really, I was just kind of getting something that was within my grasp, and we have super tanks and they're cheap, so I decided to pick one up. Plus, I've heard really good things about them, so I'm pretty happy with my choice there. This one I'm vaping at 68 watts. Overall, it's pretty close. I feel like I might be able to bump it up a little bit more, but 68 watts just seemed to give me the best overall vape here. This one meters in right at 0.22 ohms, a little bit lower. However, I'm still using it at a lower wattage than a TFE4. The notes I have on this one, best overall flavor. This one has the best flavor. That's kind of why it's been sticking on the old RX for a while. A little bit of spit back and kind of crackly and stuff like that, but not too bad overall. I mean, pretty much every sub-ohm tank nowadays is going to give you a little bit of spit back. This one just seemed to do it a little bit more than the others. This one I said, let's see, wicking is not an issue and vapor is on point. There you go. So really didn't fear the dry hit with this one as well. Happy with the flavor. Just everything just kind of, fell into line. So after the Kanger, this one was a nice, a nice relief. This was a sigh of relief. Just kind of was like, oh, thank God they actually did a Coil justice. So for my ratings on this one, the flavor, I gave it a 9 out of 10. For the vapor, 8 out of 10. And overall, 9 out of 10. This is my highest rated Coil out of the bunch here. So really do like this one. I don't know really much more what else to say other than the fact that this has been sticking around on this RX for a while for a reason. Just definitely gave me a good experience. So if you have a Super Tank Mini or a Atlantis or Atlantis V2 or a Triton or any of the other tanks that fit the Atlantis style coil, make sure you pick up these notch coils from Coil Art. I really do highly recommend them. But yeah, let's go ahead and have a vape on this one. And yeah, what more can I say? They really did this flavor justice. I know this flavor like the back of my hand at this point since I picked it up originally at VCC Pittsburgh. And I've gone through about, I'd say about 200 mils of it so far. And this is definitely doing it justice. So make sure you pick up some of these coils if you have any one of the tanks that it's compatible with. Next up, we have the UL Crown Tank. This one, I thought I was going to like it a lot more than I do. Wasn't too happy with the overall results. I feel like the original Crown coils taste a bit better on it. The coil came in right at 0.25 ohms, so spot on for that. Just everything else about it seemed a lot like the Kanger, which I wasn't too happy with. But that's, I guess, besides the point there. Let's go ahead and adjust our wattage real quick. All right, so we're at 55 watts, which I originally tested this tank out to, and then that's kind of where it maxed out. A little bit higher than the Kanger, however, the flavor just seems to be a bit weaker as well. The flavor is decent on this tank. Seems to bring out the lychee flavor more. I'm not sure why. I have no idea why. It's just one random fact that I picked up along the way. Wicking seems to be a bit of an issue with this one as well. I'm not getting a full-on dry hit, but I feel like it's almost half dry every single puff, and that is definitely an issue for me. I like something that I don't have to fear the dry hit. Don't fear the dry hit. That should be a song. Someone make that. But anyways, the reviews, it's pretty much 5 across the board. 5 out of 10 for flavor, vapor, and overall. Just kind of average. Boring and average, yeah. So let's go ahead and take a pull off of this one. And I'm really not kidding when I say I get more of the lychee flavor out of this one. I have no idea how and why or whatever, but this one just seems to bring out that lychee more. I don't taste a lot of the peach. I don't taste a lot of the hibiscus. Not sure why, but there you go. It's lychee. I can't explain it. What more can I say? But yeah, just overall, it's a decent one. Not my favorite. It was decent. It was pretty good, I guess. But yeah, there's definitely better options as far as the other Coil Art coils for other tanks. I'm sure some of you out there have, you know, most if not all of these tanks already. So that's kind of why I like doing this series. So you get a chance to get to know one of these coils without having to buy it yourself. So last on the list is the Aspire Cleto, and I vaped this one at the exact same wattage as the Super Tank Mini. 0.28 ohms is what it metered out to. Vaping it right now, it's coming in right at 4.28 volts, which is, you know, a good average, I'd say. So yeah, this one seems to bring out the peach flavor more. I'm not sure why. Again, I just don't know why, but that's kind of the things that I pick up on when I'm vaping. A lot of the different tanks with the same exact e-liquid in them. Wicking keeps up nicely, which is good. I can hear a crackle while vaping, but no spit back. So not sure why I'm not getting spit back, I guess, because I can hear that crackle in there, which means it's popping and, you know, juice is flying around inside, but I'm actually not getting it on my lips or my tongue or anything like that. So I guess that's a good thing. And my ratings on this one for the flavor, I gave it a 7 out of 10. For the vapor, a 6 out of 10. And overall, a 7 out of 10. And of course, all of this information, everything that I just said throughout this entire segment can be found in the description below if you just want to read it for yourself, if you don't want to listen to me blather on about all this crap. But yeah, I'll have a link in the description if you want to read this document, which I will be updating weekly to include all the different coils for this test here. Let's go ahead and have a pull off this one, just making sure my airflow is wide open. Let's go. Yeah, so I'm getting a nice overall round flavor on this one. I get the notes of the peach in there, and then after that it just kind of falls off a little bit. But maybe if I vape the Crown Tank and the Cleto at the same time, maybe I'll get a good flavor experience overall. Anyways, I wanted to wrap up this little segment here with my overall thoughts on the notch coils inside the Coil Art coils here. And basically what I had written down is one major issue with the notch coil from my testing is that it's a single coil ohming out to a very low resistance. I like where Coil Art was going with the idea of this coil. However, it does have several major flaws, especially the wicking and flavor for some of the tanks that I tried. Now, what I'm basically trying to say with that is, since these coils are pre-cut, like laser etched kind of coils, it only reads it as a single coil. Whenever you have a dual coil inside a pre-built coil for one of these tanks, it's two separate pieces of wire. When you have two separate pieces of wire, you have that voltage and that wattage going across each individual wires, which means overall your voltage will be a lot lower. Since this meters out to 0.25 ohms, it's putting the full voltage and wattage through that single piece of metal. Therefore, it's heating it up a lot more than a dual coil metering at the same level would, such as, you know, a Crown 2 coil or something like that. So that, I feel like, is the major flaw with this specific set of coils here. We have a lot more to try out for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned every single week where we will be going over a brand new Coil Art coil every single time. That about wraps up this segment, so let's go ahead and move on. All right, guys, so my next topic today is the Right to Vape campaign. That was originally started by Rip Trippers. Now, a lot of other YouTubers have kind of joined in on this. A lot of people have already chimed in. You've probably already seen all their videos, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But basically what he's doing is just basically raising money for the AVA and the Right to Be Smoke-Free Coalition, which is awesome. The Right to Be Smoke-Free Coalition is funding the lawsuit with NicoPure. That's going to be starting October 19th. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit as well, but I just kind of wanted to tell you guys, if you haven't heard already, what's been going on. So Rip Trippers put out a video and just basically said, give. And that's what people have been doing lately, which is awesome. I really appreciate the efforts that all these people are putting into this campaign here. So far, they've raised, I believe it is 79% of a $200,000 goal, which is awesome in only 26 days. So we almost have $200,000 in less than a month. And that is amazing, guys. That just goes to show the power and the support that this industry can have. And really, if it's just one person starting off all of this, this stuff here, then imagine what everyone can do with all of our powers combined. But these two entities here that we're dealing with are the two that can help us fight for our rights to vape. Fight the FDA, bring down the regulations, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully everything goes well with the lawsuit and everything like that. But bottom line is they're going to need money. The AVA, I know Greg Connolly personally. He is an amazing guy. He's awesome, such a nice person, and he travels the entire country all the time, no sleep for him. He's always bouncing around from airport to airport, and he's just basically goes out there and fights for our right to vape. And honestly, just thank you, Greg, for doing that. Really, it means the most to, people like me, and just seeing, just one person out there just fighting for our right to vape like that is just so awesome. He shows up everywhere that he's needed. I think he's like, kind of like vaping Superman. I don't know. But yeah, we have some huge donations from the industry coming into this Right to Vape campaign. Some of the more notable ones, I have to give some shout outs here. Some of the more notable ones are, let's see, we got One Hit Wonder E-Liquid donated $25,000, Twisted Messes $15,000, Vista Vapors $11,000, Digi Flavor $10,000, Viper Vapor $10,000, Mad Hatter $10,000, and it just keeps going and going and going. And it's a lot of the bigger names in this industry, which is great. But you know what? Honestly, every little bit counts. Every little bit matters, and it just makes the world of a difference, even if it's just one little donation of $5 or whatever. Do what you can. Of course, I'll have links in the description if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But yeah, it starts off like a $5 donation. It says no donation is too small. It all adds up and will make a huge difference in supporting the people and organizations that are leading our fight, which is exactly what we're trying to do with this here. But yeah, as you can see on the website, there's a lot of people supporting this campaign. DJ LSB Vapes, Tia Vapes, Zophie Vapes, Grim Green, Vaping with Twisted 420, Vapor Trail Channel, Tony Britton, Phil Basardo, of course, JT Vape Stars, Suck My Mod, Mike Vapes, Indoor Smokers. All these guys are supporting this campaign, so you should too. There you go. Make sure you donate. You don't have to give a lot, just give what you can. $5 will make a world of a difference, and we should be able to reach our goal hopefully very soon. I really hope we not only raise the 200,000 that we're looking for, but kill it. Hopefully we get 250,000, because every little bit is going to make a difference with this lawsuit here. Obviously, getting a law firm is very, very expensive, and we need to do our part in order to help our own industry here if we want to continue to vape as we're used to. And we need to fight the FDA regulations and hopefully bring them down, because honestly, I feel like they're a bit unjust and unfair. Which kind of leads me into my next topic, but we'll take a quick second here, take a break, and then we'll go on to that. All right, guys, our next topic tonight is the FDA's final response to the NicoPure Right to Be Smoke-Free lawsuit. They put out a 34-page document citing case law and clearly shows their strategy for the forthcoming lawsuit. I would kind of breeze through it because there is a lot of jargon and, mumbo-jumbo in there that I don't understand, so I'm going to let the experts go through it and give their analysis of it, but there is a lot of case studies in there. They cite many, many, many cases, so you can really see what strategy they're going to be using as a defense. But there was one particular segment that really grabbed my attention. I was just kind of scrolling along and I just saw this paragraph and I just had to share it, because this is what annoys me the most about this little final response that they put out. Now, I'm just going to be quoting here right from the document. I'll link it in the description below if you want to read it for yourself. But as it states here, and I quote, and just like traditional tobacco companies, e-cigarette companies have consistently offered free samples in youth-oriented settings, like amusement parks, rock concerts, and sporting events. Moreover, it is common sense that in a crowded public spaces like stadiums and concert halls where employees distributing samples, often young adults themselves, face a dozen or more outstretched arms waiting or grabbing for samples, minors can easily access the products by taking a sample themselves, recruiting an adult to obtain the sample on their behalf, or by picking up a sample someone else has discarded. Thus, the free sample ban furthers the government's interests by eliminating a tried and true means by which minors have accessed harmful and addictive products. What? I don't know what, stadiums they're going to or concerts they're going to, but when was the last time you went out to the ballpark or, something like that to see a game and there was a vendor going, get your e-cigs here, e-cigs, get your free e-cig samples here? No, it just doesn't happen. Please, stop. Just FDA, stop. Ugh. That just made me so mad when I read that. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I personally, I don't get out a lot, I don't go to a ton of concerts or anything like that, but when was the last time that you saw anyone just handing out free samples? It just doesn't happen like that. I don't know where the FDA got this information from, but they are so far off base. I don't even know. There's not words that can express how maddening this is. And if you're not already pissed off, and if you haven't been pissed off up to this point, you better start getting pissed off quick, because this is what we're seeing. And this is their thought process. So what else are they going to be spreading around like this when it comes to this lawsuit? I mean, I can't wait to see their other evidence or whatever you want to call it, their basic rhetoric that they're going to be slinging to the court system when this lawsuit comes about, because this is just absolutely crazy. Several, what does it say? It says a dozen or more outstretched arms waiting or grabbing for samples. Are you kidding me? This is our government here, guys. We're talking about the federal government. These are the people, the movers and the shakers, that will tell you what is good for you, what is bad for you, what you can have, what you can't have. And they have the ultimate control over our industry right now. And they're the ones that are going to be killing our industry. And this is how they're doing it. So, I mean, that is, like I said, right from the text. Directly taken from the text, copied and pasted into my vlog notes right here. Of course, links, check them out for yourself. Really, I can't make this stuff up, because this is just absolutely asinine and crazy. There's no better words for it. It's just ridiculous. And that's what really frustrates me the most, is they're out here doing this, and yet we can't say that there's health benefits to vaping. As a vape shop employee, I can't tell my customers that, yes, this is healthier for you than smoking. It just baffles me. And it's not the end of it either. You're talking a 34-page document just with all of this type of information on there. Not to mention that, but there's a lot of jargon and, case studies and things like that, which, again, I'm no lawyer. Don't take my word for it, but just read it yourself. Honestly, if you have a few, an hour to kill or something like that, just kind of read through it. And I'm sure you're going to find probably better examples of why we're just, getting bent over by our government. So we need to get this lawsuit kicked off here. This is completely ridiculous. I just don't know what else to say about it. It's saddening, it's maddening. Just a whole plethora of different emotions are brought forth with just by reading that one paragraph, I just got to take a second and breathe, I'm going to just have a vape real quick. So anyways, I don't want to end this episode on a, downer note. I do have some positive news and some really cool things that I've been cooking up in the old noggin here. I'm starting a new series. You guys are loving the Fresh Build Fridays, so why not have something similar to that, but more, directed towards the beginner vapor. Someone that's never touched a vaporizer before, or an e-cig or anything like that. They're, maybe thinking about it, maybe at the vape shop, wanting to check these things out, but they, can't really be too formal about it at the vape shop because they can't be hands-on, etc., etc. So I'm going to be starting something called Vaping 101. I'm pretty sure I've got that nailed down as far as what I want to call this series. And it's going to be very quick, detailed, basic information for newbie vapors. Anyone that's looking to just start vaping, this is the series for you guys, because this is going to be the one where it's going to be probably 2 to 5 minute videos on basically how to change a coil, how to rewick your device, how to fill up your tank, things like that, using, today's equipment. I've got a ton of different devices that I can do these demos on, and it's going to be very, very basic. I want something that anyone can grasp. I'm probably going to be going over the information twice, once step by step and detailed, and then again just kind of me doing it without a lot of talking over it, so you can see exactly what's going on. The best part about this series is that it will be accompanied by a QR code, which I'll have links in every single description, or probably links on my Facebook page and stuff like that for vape shops to actually print these things out. So it'll probably be in about, a 4x6 or 5x7 format if they want to get them printed. I might actually print out a few myself, but it's not even going to be channel branded or anything like that. I just kind of want something that can be put on a vape shop counter, and people can come along with their phones and just scan the QR code, boom, it'll take them right to my YouTube channel, and it'll have a basic tutorial on what to do in case, troubleshooting and things like that, filling up your tank, changing your coil, priming your coil, all that stuff, because that sort of information is crucial. I want people to have a visual representation of these actions, and just kind of something that they can grasp, using very simple terms. I'm not going to be going over Ohm's law or anything like that in these videos. It's going to be very quick, simple, easy to figure out videos that anyone can just kind of dive into. Yeah, and you should be seeing that being rolled out relatively soon. I'm going to try to kick it off with a week's worth of videos, very similar to Fresh Build Week. We're going to do Vaping 101, boot camp or something. I'm not really sure what I'm going to call that week, but in any case, we're going to do 5 videos, very, very basic, very short, simple videos. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this sort of setting. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it out in my shop or anything like that, but that is going to be happening in the very near future. So yeah, that about wraps everything up. I know we probably didn't get quite an hour or so, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little, smattering of what's been going on. Not a whole ton of news, not a whole lot of advocacy happening, but I really wanted to talk about the Right to Vape campaign just because everyone else is talking about it. So wanted to get that sort of information out to you guys. Of course, links for all the products that we went over today will be in the description below if you want to check them out for yourself, as well as the database for the coil art, coils, and all that good stuff. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, leave me comments in the box below of anything that we went over in this video. Just let me know what you think down there. I'd love to discuss it and talk it out with you guys. Of course, the links for advocacy are right down there. Make sure you check them out and fight for your right to vape. Support the Right to Vape campaign. It is crucial. You don't have to give all, but you do have to give some. Also, check me out on my different social medias. I have Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me on there. Like my page on Facebook. Check out my Snapchat. And if you want to give me a couple of bucks on Patreon, that'd be awesome as well. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Love you all. And as always, vape on.